I was built for the drama. I was built for the connection. I was built for that process. I had a sense for that.
A sense of tennis theater that no player of his era could match. Pete Sampras may have won more majors, and Roger Federer is becoming the greatest men's player ever. But during their time, nobody made fans care more than Andre Agassi. Last year's U.S. Open made that forever clear. Limping into his final tournament, with bulging discs impinging the nerves in his back, the fans at the U.S. Open virtually willed the man they'd watched mature from an image-is-everything renegade to a revered champion through 3 grueling matches, including his last win over Marcos Baghdatis.
That night match that went 5 cents, that had to have beaten you up.
I was on the sidewalk at 1 o'clock in the morning leaving that night. I lied down on the sidewalk just to relieve what I was feeling. I'm looking up at the stars going, how am I coming back here? How am I going to get on the court? I don't know how I was going to do it.
It took several cortisone injections, but Agassi made it out to play his final match. A 4-set loss made unforgettable by a final tribute from 24,000 adoring fans and his personal high-profile cheering section.
How was it for you to watch that?
Yeah, it was really difficult. It was really difficult to sit there. And I mean, I was overwhelmed a few times with emotions during it.
The scoreboard said I lost today, but what the scoreboard doesn't say is what it is I have found.
What happened when you walked in the locker room after that match?
I walked in and a lot of players were still standing around the television, but this time, instead of sort of dispersing, they all stood up and started clapping. It was the greatest applause you ever have in your life from your peers.
For your kids, did they know it was your last match?
They did. They did.
They've been wanting a dog. So we always said, no, we can't because we're traveling so much. And so for them, they kind of thought that he's going to stop playing, we're going to stop traveling, we're going to get a dog. Yeah. You know, yeah, it's just a very different view.
They wanted a dog that day. They thought, I'm done playing, 21 years over with. Okay, where's our dog? Let's get our dog.
Do they have a dog?
No.
They still don't have a dog? It's been a year.
Yeah.
Gerbils.
Do we have it? We're still traveling a lot. Don't tell them otherwise.
Family life has officially taken over the union of Andre Agassi and his wife, Stephanie Graf. A marriage of champions unlike any in the history of big-time pro sports. He, 60 singles titles, 8 majors, over $31 million in prize money, and many millions more in endorsements.
That's it.
She, 107 singles titles, 22 majors, nearly $22 million in prize money. Perhaps the greatest to ever play.
You were always so understated and private and classy and elegant. And this guy, wide open, bowing, barking. The fact that you two ended up together and ended up having kids together, that's one of the great sports upsets for people like me. Aren't you a little bit surprised that you two ended up finding each other?
You know, the way you say it, it seems like, you know, we're such different people, and that
I think one of the hardest things to do is to pull yourself out of it and look at it sort of objectively. And we so quickly connected with each other in so many personal, specific ways. It's actually enjoyable to hear it put differently, to be quite honest, because it forces you to take a look at it through somebody else's eyes, and that's I prefer to look at it through our eyes.
It makes more sense through your eyes?
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense.
It made sense to Agassi all the way back at the Wimbledon Champions Ball in 1992, where they were honored together for their victories. And Agassi says he began admiring Graf from afar. And there was plenty to admire, as Graf built an immortal career while remaining a most solitary figure who rarely revealed her emotions. The media glare that Agassi reveled in was for Graf a destructive influence, making her an almost reluctant legend.
It always seemed to me that as much as you love being out on center court the press, everything about being off the court and being famous was a necessary evil for you?
There were a lot of times, a lot of hurtful times, not only to me, but towards friends or family. There are no lines around that life, and I felt it was acceptable to be criticized, to be put in the light and all that for what I do and who I am. But when it touches people around, that's where I felt like I got really hurt.
By 1999, hobbled by injuries and fed up with negative stories, most notably regarding her father's tax evasion conviction, she was ready to quit at the age of 30.
So you win your 22nd Grand Slam title, and a couple of weeks later, you get to the Wimbledon final. And a couple of weeks after that, at a small tournament in California, you retire and walk away from the sport.
Yep. I was on the way on the airplane to go to San Diego to play the tournament, and I'm on the airplane. I'm like, no, I know I don't want to play anymore. I'm on the airplane. I'm like, what am I doing? This is wrong. And went on the court and was very clear. This is not it anymore. I feel like I've reached the end of my tennis career, and that was as clear as it could be.
There would be no fanfare, no heartfelt tributes. Graf typically kept her decision quiet, confiding in few, including a man she was just then growing close to, the recently divorced Agassi.
You know, I talked to her on the phone after that, and she goes, but that's it, I just retired. And so I thought she meant retired from the match, you know? So I go, oh, well, that's all right. You're going to just take a few weeks and, get rid of... No, that's it. I'm done. I go, like, retire? And she's like, yeah. And I started, like, weeping on the phone. I'm like, your career's over with? We're not going to see you play anymore? It's like, just like that. She's like, it doesn't get better than it's been, and I'm clear on it.
And when she's clear, she's dead clear?
Her choices in life are clear and very well defined. When she knows what direction she's going, it is designed to be the best in the world at that, and I can speak to a few areas where she pulls that off, that's for sure.
In Agassi's Vegas home base, they were married in 2001 and began raising their children, Jaden, now 6, and Jazz, age 4.
What's a typical day in your life now when you're home in Las Vegas with the kids?
Okay, if there's 30 minutes, before we need to leave the house, that's enough time to get the kids in their bathing suits, in the pool, out of the pool, dried off, dressed, in the car, on to where we have to go.
Wait a
30
sec.
minutes is enough time for that.
Wait a second. Who is very similar, fast, and doing everything?
We have
thank
in
you.
common.
Thank
But
you.
she's more efficient. I'm fast, but I spin my wheels.
For athletes whose success was built on individual excellence, theirs has become a formidable partnership. Retirement life is spent devoted to charitable work and a burgeoning business empire. A multi-million-dollar book deal, a string of restaurants. They've even created their own line of Christ furniture.
Oh, that is cool. When you first saw Andre Agassi with the long hair and wearing neon and denim and earrings, and so you took a look at him and you thought to yourself, boy, that is the guy I want to one day design furniture with. I mean, it's a fair question, right? Is it a fair question?
That puts it in context, doesn't it?
But it's real estate where they are making a serious commitment, recently joining a growing rank of celebrities involved in what have become richly profitable investments, high-end hotels. Agassi Graf Development is building a $600 million resort in a secluded town in northern Idaho.
As our children were starting to grow, we were going, okay, where are we going to go as a family and create tradition in our lives? It's important to Steph, important to me. We came up here, we saw it. This place had everything. And so we bought here. We see an opportunity to do things that will give a place for people to spend time with their family, to create memories, to experience things that maybe you can't find anywhere else.
And we get to do it together.
You done it?
Game, set, match.
How much does tennis mean to you two anymore?
I think I enjoy it more now than I ever have. Watching it, enjoying it through a different perspective. I mean, Federer got way more enjoyable after I retired. I was a nightmare watching him when I was still playing. When I look at a Federer or Nadal, and I look at these guys and I think, you have so much beauty left ahead of you. At the same time, I wouldn't want to be you. There's a balance there that just seems to fit real comfortable for me.
Do you know what he's talking about?
Oh, completely, yeah.
You guys got to figure it out.
I try to figure it out every day.